Greetings one and all, this is Rhythmworks welcoming you to my channel. A very warm welcome to you all. This video comes by way of a response to a response of one of my videos, and it's going out to none other than PressToPlay. First of all, I've got to say many thanks, Play, for checking out my videos and in fact just supporting my channel in general. And I want to thank you for making a response to my Call of Duty World War II reveal response. Now, it's good to hear measured, balanced, lateral viewpoints from someone who is a certified Call of Duty fan, and not just someone who just want to chop down what I'm saying or, you know, call me an idiot or what have you, because I don't know the full in and outs of the Call of Duty franchise. So it's been a pleasure watching your video, me understand from someone who is a Call of Duty fan how they feel about the game, because you can't just be the only one that has those viewpoints, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the contribution that you made in response to my video. I suppose from my standpoint, I'm somewhat of a late adopter to the Call of Duty and the Battlefield franchises, simply because of the fact that I was not a first-person shooter fan, you know, from a long time, and it was well documented in my videos that Far Cry 3, I'm sure it's Far Cry 3, was the game that actually got me into first-person shooters. Without that game, I wouldn't be interested in first-person shooters all now. So, you know, I've got Ubisoft to thank for that and that game. So for me, being a late adopter to the Call of Duty and also the Battlefield franchises was a bit of a struggle, because with both those franchises having so much iterations of the series and having so much people jumping on it from day one, I'm seeing the highs and lows of the respective franchises, and me just wanting to enjoy both franchises, because I do recognize there's a difference between the two, but you can't help comparing the two in terms of the era in which both franchises are taking place. Do you know what I'm saying? So with Call of Duty basically concentrating on the space shooter, concentrating on the futuristic shooter, was a bit of an annoyance for me because of the fact of the time that I came into the game. Whereas, you know, games like Modern Warfare 2 that a lot of people enjoyed and World at War that a lot of people enjoyed, I wanted to have that same kind of experience, but jumping in the game from Call of Duty Ghosts wasn't really a good place to start, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, I had the patience and I got into Call of Duty Black Ops 3, but at that point in time, a lot of people still cited the earlier games as being better than those games, and then getting into Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare and Kevin Spacey and all of that, the wall running, jumping, exosuit bollocks that people are obviously tired of now. You know, it just wasn't a conducive time for me to really engage in the shooter. So being late in the series and being involved, not so much involved, but seeing the era that I was more or less thrust upon, wasn't really a good time for me. So I think I was more frustrated than the die-hard Call of Duty fans, because I wanted to kind of be fast-tracked into the experience that everybody else felt from back in the day. And I think that kind of showed in my response video to World War II. It can be basically stated that, you know, that Sledgehammer was working on the game long before DICE and EA basically wanted to put out Battlefield 1. It can be argued, but for me it's like, you know, it's just too much of a coincidence for me at the end of the day, you know. And I could be wrong with that very statement in suggesting that it was a response, because it's been stated in a lot of websites, a lot of gaming websites, that simply wasn't the case. It wasn't the case that it was a response. It wasn't a response at all to Battlefield 1's release. You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is, I guess. But for me personally, like I said before, I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking Call of Duty World War II whatsoever. I did state I wasn't going to knock it, but it's just the overall pitch that I saw the two gentlemen from Sledgehammer trying to give me. You know what I mean? It wasn't baking my noodle, as it were. But like I said, you know, maybe E3 has got a lot to well, E3 will have a lot more to reveal, and maybe a few more surprises up its sleeve, you know. And I'm not saying that I will not enter into Call of Duty World War II at all, regardless, you know. Maybe there will be a factor within multiplayer that will say to me, okay, right, I'll buy the game. Do you know what I mean? Because already, counting yourself, there's one other person in my PSN friends list. I mean, even he's saying, yeah, it looks shit, but I'm gonna buy it. Which is his way of basically saying, look, you know what I mean? It's a purchase for him. It's a day one purchase for him. Whereas for me now, it's like, you know, I understand there's a lot of people that's been burnt by the Call of Duty series, and they rightfully, you know, are speaking with their wallets, as it were. For me, I just want to see something. I want to feel something that's going to make me say, okay, I'm going to enter into the Call of Duty franchise once more with a little difference. And I mean, World War II is a huge difference in comparison. You know, from what I've seen today with the story mode and what have you, it's going to be a more visceral affair, you know, and a lot of things are going to be touched upon, like how the soldiers and the platoons interacted with each other, along with the prejudices that ensued as well. So it'll be interesting to see how all of that pans out in the story mode. Maybe it'll probably be the first time that Call of Duty fans who didn't even fart on the campaigns in past iterations might even give the campaign a go on this iteration. There's so many things to consider with the forthcoming release of World War II, you know. So I'm just responding in basically saying to you, Play, that I totally understand where you're coming from. I totally respect the fact that you're a fan, and I totally respect how you came at me, bro. You know, so I want to thank you for that. And I want to thank you for, you know, just giving me an insight as to your absolute love for the Call of Duty franchise. You know what I'm saying? It's not just a mindless thing with you, as I probably stated. Well, I did state why people buy the game, why some people buy the game, because it's a mindless thing with them. And, you know, in some respects, I take it back. But in other respects, it's just a case that it is Call of Duty. They just want to buy Call of Duty. They're not into Battlefield and Call of Duty. They've been into, even with the past iterations that they've never liked, and they've just kind of naturally bought it because it's Call of Duty. There are people that I know that are mindless in that way. Not in a disrespectful way. It's just automatic that they're going to buy Call of Duty as their number one go-to shooter. You know what I mean? For the year. But from your perspective, I totally understand where you're coming from with that. And I want to say, yeah, respect to you for that. Which is going to make E3 a very interesting, exciting prospect, because there's a lot of games coming out in the autumn. You know, there's a lot of games coming out. There's going to be a lot of surprises, I guess. You know, there's going to be presentations made, you know, given out by developers who don't even normally give E3 the time of day. And because of the fact there's so many different conferences going around, you know, E3 is not really seen to be the most important conference for people to ply their wares, as it were. So it's going to be a very interesting time, because there's some big games coming out in the autumn, and I'm sure there's going to be a healthy competition between a lot of developers around that time. So with the Call of Duty World War II, 3rd of November, right in the thick of it, you know, it's got a lot to play for, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I am waiting with leveled optimism, measured optimism for the game. Like I said, it's not a game that I am not going to buy, period. It's not a game like that for me. It's a game that I'm kind of keeping one ear and one eye out on. Do you know know what I mean? Because there's already games that I know I'm gonna get, as you saw from my last video. Just the name alone, the title, warrants me to just give my money to them, you know. So it'd be interesting to see. And obviously, you know, I'm gonna get Destiny 2, so you know, it's gonna be interesting, an interesting time. So I want to thank you, Play, for your response video, and I want to thank all of the others who are watching this video right now. I want to thank you guys for watching. Anyway, once again, I made this video before I got something to eat, so I'm gonna grab a bite and hook up with my Inglorious Ball Bags clan on Destiny. And it's with that I'm gonna bid you guys adieu for now. So it's with that, you don't know the crew, whatever the game, media, platform, format, genre. Happy gaming, because that's what it's truly about, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters. And until I catch you on the next video, gamers, stay blessed. Magan.